you. I was saying to Oni earlier. I think he's a little bit underrated. Not underrated, overrated.
Everyone's saying
But,
that though.
well,
Oh, stop saying stop it. Stop saying overrated. Stop saying underrated. Just say, maybe he's not in the top 10. Maybe he's like low top 10. Damn it, dude.
maybe you kind of poo, maybe you kind of shit.
I mean, you haven't even. I don't even. You haven't even seen the interactions on Twitter, right? Because again,
No,
nobody's really overrating this guy. They're not calling him the craziest best unit in the game or anything. Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, Bring Her Down?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he's so cool. He's so sick.
Through testing them, I found out something that, I don't know if this was implied and this was just a stupid slip on my part, or people just don't know. But in my defense, they dropped this LR right after, the Super Gotenks, Super EVA. So with Gotenks, you specifically have to have 11 key to get his big shit, right?
Yeah.
In the Ginyu details, it says to get the stacks, you have to be at 15 key. You don't have to be at 15 key.
It's 15 to 18. That's how it works.
Yeah, but in the translation from Goresh, it literally only says 15.
Yeah.
However, if you want, you can
16.5.
retweet the link and say we're live right now.
Oh, if I want, huh?
Yeah, if you want to. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna say you have to do that.
I mean, I guess.
We're banned.
Anyway, biggest news of all, Beyond was having a meltdown the other day because of JJK Curse Clash. It was a little insane. I don't know what was happening.
That shit was so funny.
He was going insane on that.
I hate games with ranked. That's bad.
I feel like that's just your fault though. Like you reap what you sow, man. You play JJK Curse Clash and the game is shit. I mean, what do you expect?
First game with Dojo in it is bad. Coincidence? Probably not.
Sadly. A game with a sleeper character like Yuji Itadori or Megumi Fushiguro? Fucking lame.
Bro, it's fine. You can go play that JJK gacha that everybody's liking and waste your money over there.
I thought about it. I don't think that gacha game looks as enticing to me. It doesn't look very good to me, but if other people like it, that's huge.
I mean, I guess that's a very realistic way to look at it. Like, I don't like Legends. I think Legends looks like dog shit, but Legends succeeding means that Dokkan will succeed, which means Dragon Ball succeeds. So I'm still winning.
Here's my thing. I don't like comparing the two games. Like, I think the competition is definitely good for Dokkan. I mean, Dokkan would not be the game it is today without the competition. But
really, they're just not the same game at all.
No, they are. No, they're not at all. But
their only similarity is that they're Dragon Ball mobile games. That's it.
Yeah, Dragon Ball gacha games. That's about all. One of them is significantly worse than the other, though. That I will say. One of them is significantly worse than the other when it comes to the gacha aspects of it. Those damn Ultra banners are like an actual scam to someone on. It's insane.
Yeah. Ultra banners are great, dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah, man, they're so good, dude. They're like all your money is worth it, dude. Hundreds of dollars worth it to get shouted on that banner. So good. We love those things.
Shafted more in Dokkan than
the hell? He's black?
I'll be honest. What is that?
Did Halvard did Abu just not know that?
That Kaname is black?
Yeah. Okay, man. He's not even he's not even, there's zero question he's black. He is colored dark skin in the manga.
What are you fucking talking about?
Literally.
That art just irked me because I love Kaname and I think black representation is done extremely well in Bleach. So to immediately erase it and make Kaname the same color as everyone else was fucking crazy to me.
Yeah. He is literally maybe one tone darker, like slightly than everyone else.
Yeah, he's not
look-
pasty white.
yeah.
He's eggshell white. My bad.
Yeah, it looks like he just stepped outside for maybe an hour or two, and everyone else is a neat. But like, god damn it, I can't believe
The dude is whiter than
Abu-
I am.
Abu fell for the whitewashing, bro. He fell for
That's crazy.
it. He thought he was a white man.
Really
That's
crazy.
so nuts. Why is that twat there then? Was gonna tune in, but not anymore. That's Future Dokkan talking about you, by the way, Alan.
Where are the comments, bro? I'm on your YouTube channel. I can't see any of them.
It's on Twitter, bro.
Oh, it's on Twitter.
Yeah.
Bro, just tell
Future
Future
Dokkan.
to like kill himself or something. I don't know.
Bro, I'm not gonna tell him that. I'm gonna tell him that.
Real?
Also, comment down on the hate speech, okay? Comment down on the hate speech. I got a strike because of.
All right,
fucking-
all
I got a strike because of fucking Shay the other time, dude.
right.
Gee, I wonder why.
Please read me bedtime stories, Howard. You're. What are you thinking, man? You going to? Can you? So. All right, guys. So it is 1. We're actually 2 minutes late. I want to wait till some more people are in here. We'll wait like maybe 5 more minutes, and then we'll get started with the show. But there's a couple things I want to talk about today. Probably a little bit of stuff going through Ginyu, Go Tanks, how Special Pose is an insane team nowadays. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about.
How awful Vegeta fans are in general. Something like
No, I
Real.
mean, there's like maybe 3 or 4 bad Vegeta fans. Okay.
that. That is not true.
3 or
That's
4.
whatsoever.
If you were oiled up, would you lose? Like lose to who? That completely depends.
Question.
Who am I who am I winning against? Who am I oiled up against? I mean, I guess is the question.
Truth.
True. He did win top 3 in the top 3 Gyats competition I held, so I don't know. Huh.
Yeah, that you held that had like nothing leading up to it. Bro completely posted that out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, it was a pretty big competition, man. Everyone was there. You must have missed it or something.
Everyone was there. It's crazy.
Yeah, Alan, you were like so close to the top 3. By the way, you were like top 5 at the very best, I think, this year.
Top 5 out of who, bro? Who was above me?
Ooh, you're not gonna like it, man. You're not gonna like the list. Number 1 was Minato's Flash. Number 2 was Future Dokkan, and number 3 was the Truth DT.
How was Future Dokkan at 2, bro? That's cap. That's mad.
Yeah, more. I mean, hey, dude, send more stuff next year. I don't know what to tell you, brother.
Alright, PayPal you before, bro.
Yeah.
No worries. What is the Ginyu's raised animation, by the way? Because they all have like 4 different animations, don't they? Which is the one that
Reuse?
is really raised.
Did you say reuse animations?
No, greatly raised, bro. They greatly raise their defense. They
Oh.
stack,
Oh,
don't
that's
they? On
that's
Raccoon.
murder.
Oh, it's alright.
Goldo and Raccoon kind of switch off for the 12P. Jason Birder switch off for the one that can give you the stack. I'm not sure what the difference is with the. Is it Raccoon Beyond that gives you the defense on the 12P?
Yeah, Raccoon is just the better one.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
you get both stats if you get Raccoon.
You know, that's crazy. I was just saying earlier that Goldo and Jace are the 2 worst members, and what do you know? They're the 2 most useless SA effects in the LR. Crazy how that works.
think Goldo's up there, bro. Hey, what's up, Nakina?
As the 2 worst, yeah?
Oh, okay. I thought you said Birder. It sounded like you said Birder.
No,
and
Birder, Raccoon, and Ginyu are all like even to me. I like them all similarly.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, we have people in here now. We can get started with the show. All right, guys, welcome back. Another episode of Dokkan Digest Live, where we sit down once a week. We're gonna try and make this a once a week thing. We'll see. It just depends on everybody else's schedule. You know, things could go terrible here in the future, but you know, we'll see how that goes. Oh, we can use active skill, by the way. Dude, 50% for the entire team. Rest of the fight. That's so nuts. So a couple things have happened this week. We've gotten obviously LR Ginyu, the Gotenk Super Easy A, and then some stuff. We got to talk about Halberd and the job shit. Okay, like that's gotta be a topic we bring up today. And then Truth going yet again on his tirade when it comes to private servers. So there are a couple things that we want to talk about that I hope you guys will stay here for and enjoy, like you guys do every week. So who wants to introduce their first topic? Anybody can. Go ahead. All right, I guess I will. Because that was a pretty big thing. We didn't talk about it last week either, so I figured we just bring it up. So how does everyone feel about Ginyu? How are we feeling about him? Just throw ideas around the room.
Decent, but kind of mid.
Why is he mid to you though?
He's not. Well, mid's a strong word. I'd say he's good, but I feel like his defense kind of lacking, especially because you kind of want to run him slot one. His offense to me seems decent, but also kind of lacking for new units. And he's locked to special pose. I mean, it's not. He's definitely not bad. He does a lot, but I just think that he kind of has some flaws, and he's not really up to par as like recent carnivals or Dokkan Fest really. Even the TURs, which is a big twist because TURs were dog shit last year.
Well, TURs. I mean, we've only gotten like out of the batch we've gotten so far, there haven't been too many crazy ones, right? Topo and Super Saiyan Vegeta are like the two best of the batch.
Are they not the only? No, there's Rose.
We had Frieza. We have Frieza too, and I guess Rose. But, I mean, Rose and Frieza are pretty on par with each other. They're not really like the craziest.
They're both shit, bro.
Well, I don't want to call Rose shit. You know, Frieza you can probably get away with.
Rose,
but like,
Rose is shit. Who thinks Rose is good?
Halberd, do you want to? Halberd, do you want to? You want to say something about that, man?
About Rose?
Yeah.
No, I used him and he did fine.
He can do fine. I mean, to be fair, most units can do fine, but I don't think Rose is really up to par.
Well, there aren't many units that can fight the hardest events in the game with no item and still be considered doing fine. Like that's a pretty fine line to draw at this point.
Truth would disagree. Actually, Truth would really disagree. This man, I don't know how he gets that mindset, but he's like every unit can no item everything, right? Like, which I mean, I guess is true, but like it's not really the unit themselves doing that. Yeah, no. I mean, it's more so. It's not really the unit itself; it's the team, right? Like, yeah. If a unit is carried, I mean, if Truth really thinks that, then like those screenshots of like I don't know, PyCon no item running Gogeta or something like that, right? Like means a lot more. But
okay, pause for a second. Where is Future talking? I can see it on your channel that he's talking somewhere, but it's not on YouTube.
Bro, who? Future is not here, man. You're chill. You're making up demons,
left.
bro.
In the bottom left, I can see Future talking in your chat, bro.
Bro,
he's chatting there.
Brother, it's okay, man.
I'll screenshot it. I will literally screenshot it. I can see him
everywhere.
Yeah, man. The voices cannot hurt you, bro. They can't hurt you anymore, man. You're chill. It's okay. You're good, brother.
Nah, all right. I'm screenshotting it.
This is a safe space, bro.
Yeah, we're fine here. Future cannot hurt you here, man. You're okay. You're good.
Bro, look. Go in your general right now.
Whatever. Yeah, let's see.
This fucking guy.
Where is he saying this? It's not on your YouTube, but he's coming up.
What? Yeah, where? Wait, yeah, he isn't in here.
No, he's not. He's just chats are coming up.
Yeah, why are the chats popping up? But Future's not. I don't see him in the chat anywhere. Maybe is my YouTube chat?
Oh, he's in the live chat. He's not in the top chat.
Let's see.
In the
Okay.
live, I didn't know.
Yeah, he is in the live chat. It's not in top chat. That's so weird. Oh, that's okay. Whatever. Anyway,
Dude, YouTube is suppressing him. That's crazy.
yeah, he's suppressing Future Dokkan. But yeah, guys. I like Ginyu. I think he's a really good unit. And not only that, but like every single Ginyu card on release, every time we've gotten a Ginyu character, they've always been like really good. Like the OG Battlefield Ginyu, the free to play LR, That guy was super good whenever he first got his EZA. People were really impressed with that guy. Every Ginyu card we've gotten has been banger, just a banger unit. I think he's really good. It does suck a little bit that he's tied to specifically just special pose and not like villains as a whole, or like villains or anything like that. Like, that sinks a little bit, right? Because he's not really helping Frieza out too much.
Bro, that is a blessing in disguise, bro. You can actually use them on a good team. You have to fucking use them on shitty ass villain teams the entire time.
Well, special pose is a pretty good team, and villains are getting up there, man. Like villains are not.
They're getting
Nah.
up there, but they're not there yet.
They're getting up
Yeah,
there.
no,
like, yeah.
They're not.
they need like a solid like 3 or 4 buffs to be at the same level as other teams.
Well, I mean, we got Frieza and we got Rose. I mean, what more do you want, man? Like, what more do you
Bro,
need?
stop bringing up.
What
Um,
more do you want?
I mean, Rose, I don't know. I don't really get the Rose stuff. Maybe I need to look more at him, but I don't think he was really that impressive when I looked at him.
He's not that good, man.
Frieza just does not seem
That's a
good
joke.
to me whatsoever.
No, Frieza's pretty. He's not great. He gets one shot
seems
by
incredible.
bosses, so that's cool.
Yeah.
He
We like
literally
those.
just hits hard. That's all
Yeah.
he is. He's just APT bait.
He's gonna go
Yeah.
crazy in that legendary Frieza event, though. I'm just kidding. No, he won't. He'll get shit. He'll get shit on there. Too.
No, he won't. It's crazy.
Yeah, he'll probably look worse because he's not fighting anybody he wants to fight. So, yeah, sucks a little bit for him, man. Frieza's pretty poop. What can we say? I think last year was really just like a blemish on the Dokkan's lifespan as a whole. Like last year sucked so bad for villains, for like everything. I mean that whole year just sucked the life out of everything we could have possibly gotten this year. And people, I still see people coping for Zamasu too. I just don't get it, man. That guy's poop now.
He's good, but he's
Nah,
not that good.
He's pretty poop right now. He's pretty poo poo.
Did he just do 20 million, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Jesus
what?
fucking
What?
Christ.
This small guy at Tech Go things? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's a humble little
It's
super
pretty
easy
low.
A,
It's
man.
pretty
He did
low
a
for Tech
29 million earlier.
Yeah, he's
pretty low for Tech Go.
No.
He's a very humble guy, but yeah, Ginyu's super good. Special Pose is like an actual good team now. Like since we got Topo, Ginyu, freaking Super Easy A Go Tanks, and then Easy A Go Tanks. This like in a matter of just like a short celebration, an entire team got buffed. I really like that. I really like how they went about that. What do you guys think? Do you think they should? Do you think they should continue with just like specific themes around like Super or like Z or like Buu Saga or something like that, or should it be like they make monthly celebrations around a week category and buff that category for the month? What do you guys?
Well, have
what do
you
you,
noticed when they do the latter of just taking a whole celebration and dedicating it to a shit team and making them not a shit team? Those are always celebrations that are like really greatly enjoyed by everybody. Like people didn't even care about Topo, to be completely honest. Like, yeah, he's good,
Yeah.
but like no one cared if it was Topo.
Mhm.
But the rest of this celebration, all of the EZAs, this LR, everything, like people are having fun.
Mhm.
Like no, there aren't any real complaints. You know, everyone's vibing. You look at Golden Week last week and how it took World Tournament and Dragon Ball Saga and took it from dog shit on both
Bro got
accounts.
double
You like
Raccoon
it.
twice in a row.
Yeah.
So it's like when they do that, it's always the most fun, and everybody spends money. I think they need to do that more.
Hey, you notice how every time Ginyu is in the game or put into the game somehow, like the community is always having fun. Like I love that. Like Ginyu just like brings fun to the game. Yeah. Hey, by the way, we're ignoring Appel here in chat. Future lives rent. Yeah, he does, man. Future lives rent free in Alan's head all the time, bro. The voices, man. The voices.
Who said that? Who said that?
Appel.
Bruh.
But yeah, man, I agree with you, Howard. Full on. Like every time they buff these really weak categories, that on like people have been saying that these like special pose could be a really fun category if we got buffs for it, actually, right? Like it could have been a fun category, and now that we have these really insane buffs, like this it's so fun. It's like insanely fun to play. So yeah,
Okay. Go on.
No, you go first.
There are characters that will drop, like we'll naturally get more of them later that will be on special pose because you know they're popular characters. Like we're gonna get more gammas. We haven't used everything from them.
Yeah.
Not to mention they could just craft more shit for them. We still have an
22.
LR Go tank to get
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So like there's a home for those units now where prior there kind of wasn't, because like where were you running the gammas? It was superheroes, and I guess if you wanted to have a safe rotation on androids,
Yeah.
and that was kind of it.
Mm-hmm. True, they are on special pose, aren't they? I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Special pose is just like one of the. It's just that team now, man. It's got that aura to it. I'm very happy with that.
It's a safe like hub for a lot of characters. If they drop and they're on that, they have a team.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. Hopefully, like, we get better leaders. I do think Topo is good for now, but like later on, like I said, I don't like units that get weaker. I didn't say this to you, but I don't like units that get weaker throughout the fight. I think the game is always in a healthier position when they make characters that are good, that get better as the fight goes on. Always. Like, it's just always going to be like that for me.
I
Characters
think
that
it
get,
depends.
what do you mean?
Because if you look at Stelmax,
Mhm.
right, like that event is hard for the first 4 turns. It's really hard. He fucking beats the shit out of you. But as it goes on, you unlock the ability to, stun him or seal him or debuff him. Those things are not present in the first 4 turns of the fight. However, if you make it through those first 4 turns, he gets weaker. So if units kind of have a fall off, but they're doing a lot, like they're debuffing or like they're sealing and stunning, and more bosses have that, them being super strong early on when they need to be versus just using their actual utility after their raw numbers fall off, that's still fine. I think that's fun.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. If they create bosses like that, but Cell Max is just a lot of people don't even put him in the topic of like hardest fight in the game because they
I mean,
think of him as like a
Gogeta's there
gimmick
too.
fight, right?
Gogeta can be debuffed. A lot of units
Yeah.
picked up value they didn't have prior simply because he can be debuffed.
That's true. That's true. I'll digress on that point. Sure.
We talked about this on stream, by the way, about the Cellmax stuff. So I don't remember.
We talked about Cell Max, yeah, but like Cell Max is one of those fight. Even well, I guess you can literally stun Cell Max, so it doesn't really matter too much. But like, I don't know, man. I just feel like characters that get stronger as the fight goes on are always going to be a lot more fun and a lot more like enjoyable all throughout the game. Even in short-term content, like Beast Gohan. Alan doesn't really agree with it. I don't know how, but like he gets stronger as the fight goes on. He does lose a bit of his damage reduction, and that's fine because he's still like he's not dying to normals or
40% is
anything.
not a bit. 40% is not a bit. That is a lot.
Okay. Still, 40% damage reduction on top of the guard, though, is still really, really good, right? Like, we're
Yeah,
not
but
going
he
to
just
deny
gets
that.
worse, bro. I don't understand what you mean by this. He just gets
Well,
worse every time.
he's stacking still. He is stacking. Attack. He is like there is something about him that gets better as the fight goes on, and I think units like that,
Yeah,
even
that matters more is getting worse. Like, yeah, you're just looking at it like that because he's just objectively the best unit in the game. Like,
okay,
yeah,
but
even after his stats fall off, he's still great.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
just because he's the best unit in the game. He still is objectively getting weaker in the one area that matters the most.
Yeah, but I mean, like he's not gonna get weaker. In like, let's say Worldwide Down Celebration, they drop another short-term content fight, right? He's not gonna be weak in those fights at all. Like, even if what they could do is probably like make stuff so difficult to the point where, or like long fights so difficult to the point where his damage reduction doesn't even really matter too much. But they're not gonna do that. Like, even if it was a short-term fight, he's still gonna have 80% TR with, freaking guard, and he's raising his defense on super attacks. Like, he's gonna be nuts still.
I get what you're getting at, but I had this conversation with Victor about his expectations for Ginyu, and it was like Ginyu dropped in a special pose celebration, but for whatever reason, Vector also just wanted Ginyu to be for Frieza and not for Topo, which I can understand, but at the same time, they were making very specific steps, like just taking Ribrianne randomly and giving her an easy A just for special pose.
Mhm.
So they were leaning into doing everything for that and not really for anything else.
Right.
They've very specifically, since 9th anniversary, been leaning into giving us longer content, which has got another legendary fight.
Right.
Like, I don't see short form content really making a comeback for a while. I think they want to get back to longer shit. That's all they've been doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure if I said this on this stream, but I know I've talked about it with other people. Cellmax is the hardest fight, and it's kind of delusional that people aren't talking about it if they're not. I've heard from multiple people that Cell Max is just disregarded for some reason.
Well, I think we all know the reason why people disregard Cell Max as the hardest fight nowadays. Now we know why, and it's because of one
Because it
man.
makes units they like irrelevant.
Nope, it's one man. There's one man that ruins Cell Max for everybody. Okay, we're not gonna bring him up, but we all know who he is.
Well, yeah, that's silly as well, though. To be fair,
No, I'm just kidding. But listen, Cell Max is a really difficult fight for sure, and I don't think he if I don't know how to, I don't know how to rate Cell Max. I think that's the problem. I just don't know.
I think that Cell Max.
Where the hell did
is
Minato
a
come from?
loser.
Dude, I
think-
got him in, dude.
I
You didn't
think-
ask. You didn't ask, so I did.
Cell Max could be Attack Lord by turn 4. And sure, people are going to be like, oh, turn 1 and 3 is very difficult. I understand that. But you could use a lot of these gimmick characters that aren't really that great in a lot of these other fights, like the tech androids, even like PyCon or something like that with these Ghost Duster shenanigans. Right?
Icon is not good in Cell Max. That is so cap. What?
And wait, what?
Pycon is not good in Cell Max, bro. He dies in one hit.
Bro, dodge and Ghost
Well, I
Duster.
mean, yeah, but okay, hold on. Doesn't
PyCon seal, attack lore, and have a
Yeah,
Ghost
past
Duster?
turn 4, bro. Past turn 4. So you get
Oh,
one hit on Pycon, you're
God.
dead.
You're giving
No.
you're
Oh my
giving Vector
goodness.
fuel. Minato, please stop. Don't mention
No.
PyCon.
I'm telling y'all, the point is those type of characters could work really well in Cell Max because of the fact that you only have to worry about the first few turns. Then you could seal him, attack lure him. Turn 7, you could stun him, and then he's just like literally zero threat, even though he gets those better super attack effects, right?
Okay.
So like, it's
I understand
weird for
what
me
you're saying,
to
but at
rate
the
Cell
same
Max.
time, if you look at the rest of the game outside of those handful of characters that no one ever really uses to begin with, yeah, they can gimmick their way through that fight. Look at the rest of the game.
They
There
can't.
isn't a lot of the game that can just stand up to an almost 3 million super attack on turn 1.
But the fact is that you do have those characters that are gimmicky for this fight that is more or less a
I
gimmick.
mean, yeah,
Right.
that's
Yeah,
valid.
but you
can
have so
totally
many
gimmick your way through
So,
the complete.
like,
hold on.
I think-
Yeah.
I think the difference is okay. I guess I should explain why we're better because this is about me hopping in just randomly in this conversation, but it's also a thing where if he's talking about how should I rate this fight, I'm more saying you shouldn't rate it as like the hardest fight. I think you could rate it as a difficult fight, one of the more difficult fights. But a lot of people in the community want to push that we should rate Cell Max as the hardest fight, and that's where I'm disagreeing with. And that's why I'm giving.
Hold
my
on.
points
Well,
and why it works.
hold on. You can rate Cell Max as the most difficult fight in the game. But that doesn't mean you have to like rate You don't have to rate units based on how well they do in the Cell Max fight. I
And
feel like
just
that's
Cell Max.
yeah.
I guess that's fair, right? I could see your point there, but I personally wouldn't rate it as the hardest fight. I think it is like probably a top 5 most difficult fight, but it's just like even like in Gogeta Blue, even though you could like attack lure that guy, it's like he's hitting you so hard anyways, right? But Cell Max you could seal him. I think that's a major difference to me. But that's just my opinion, right? You know, I think I just giving my little 2 cents in there, just hopping in real quick. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Alan Dokkan, it's been a while.
Hello. Can I talk? Do you want to have like a little bit of a discussion about that? Because
Sure.
I get what you're saying, but I think there's way more characters that can gimmick out Gogeta, or not even gimmick, just straight up like railroad him, than there is for Cell Max. Cell Max just like,
I mean,
if we're gonna like rate bosses by how hard they are, it really has to be by how many units struggle to beat the event, surely, or how many teams
good
struggle.
point, because
No, wait,
Gogeta's like a
that fight's
fast-paced fight.
the Vegito fight
right?
is structured way differently though. The Vegito fight you can straight up just stun or you can lower him like right out the
I mean,
gate.
the
You can't do
the
that with Cell
Gogeta
Max.
fight.
The Vegeta
What's the
fight.
big-
No, Vegeta. Wait, Gogeta fight? No,
Vegeta?
yeah, Vegito
What?
from Worldwide Down Celebration.
Vegito?
That's the Vegeta fight. Yeah.
You're talking about that fight. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no.
Why are we
Cell
talking about that
Max,
fight?
Cell Max and Vegito are like two completely different fights because one you can start debuffing him right away. The other
Well,
you
yeah,
can't.
I guess like that's more of like a equal comparison to that Vegito fight would be the Blue Cow Ken Goku fight that
Yeah.
came out.
Yeah.
And I think the Cell Max fight is definitely like closer to a more difficult fight because there are phases where you can't even attack lure him. Those first 3 phases can be very devastating, and especially to like I'd say quote unquote traditional teams, like the usual setups people would run, it's going to be very difficult in that cell max fight. But it's a case where you just have to be, you have to think and realize, oh, maybe I should run different characters that are actually good for this event. Whoa, really?
Mhm.
But like in the Gogeta fight, there's probably going to end up being more options, which is, I think, what Alan Dokkan's point is, where because there's more options, where by that point you have Gogeta Blue's target skill, you have Beast Gohan's target skill, especially Orange Piccolo's giant form could realistically work on any team, Ribrianne's giant form, and there's a lot of like attack lures as well, which it doesn't do zero to him. Attack luring still does help. So I see the point because it's such a long fight at that point. You like turn 10 by the end that you have all these busted mechanics available. While in Cell Max, there's less of these characters that can deal with like, like his shenanigans. But I think with where I stand is that what you could do with those characters in that Cell Max fight is so much more potent against that boss compared to those special mechanics against Gogeta even, because it's like you could bring a sealer and then you're like a good for multiple turns at that point, or an attack lure. Like again, like I said, Pycon is an example of a character where I could see people like make an excuse like, oh, Pycon is actually really good in this Cell Max fight because I could have the Ghost Usher in turn 4. Then after a Ghost Usher, I seal an attack lure him and GG, right? So
Cell Max is not a GT boss's victim, dude. Let's clear that up right now. You're dying in those
Well,
first three. You're dying in those first
no,
three
no, no, no,
turns.
no. People have no itemed the fight with the GT bosses. Not that he's like a victim of that fight, but people have done no item runs with GT bosses in Cell Max.
Yeah, he's not a victim. Like you're not
not a
running.
victim,
Yeah,
though.
you're not running
Like,
through that fight super easily.
I
You
would
could do it.
I would
but-
say the Vegito fight and the Blue Cock and Goku fight. That is a victim of GT bosses.
yeah.
Cell Max is not like that. Well, as you could no item with that fight. There is the situation where like
Okay,
there's so many.
thanks.
Oh my god, you just wow.
Nice, good, thanks. He's super good. He is super good, guys. He is really good. Okay, I'm telling you now.
I mean, yeah, when you put the slot 2 unit in slot 1.
No, he's super good. I am straight up giving him a compliment. I like Gotenks.
Yeah, okay. What is this? He's not in game
Gotenks
yet,
are
buddy. What is this?
It's well, that's he's not easy aid yet.
Should
That's
I
not
call-
easy aid
Oh,
Gotenks.
you're stuttering, huh? Should I call that your father truth on this? Should I tell your father
Yes.
about this, man?
Hey, listen,
What would
dude.
he say? He'd be so disappointed in you. No more content. What if he's like, no,
No
remove me from your
more
channel.
content.
Remove me from your channel. Copyright strike you.
Delete
Yeah,
any
take down-
videos involving.
Yeah.
Delete any videos involving me, and then like only top 10 videos are gone now.
No, this is super easy aid Gotenks. It's just, yeah, he just looks like he's easy aid.
What's that glow around him then? On his
There's no
card?
glow. There is none.
Are you sure it's not there anymore? It might not be there anymore.
Okay, so Minato, question. So with characters like tech androids and
God damn
Python
it,
and all that
Ryan.
shit,
Jeez, so
you can gimmick beyond the first 4
Huh?
turns of Full Max. Beyond, shut up. You can gimmick beyond those turns, and then it becomes an easy fight. That is
Yeah.
true. But if you do not gimmick beyond those fights,
It's
i.e.,
difficult,
like
right?
them, if they add missions to it for categories, just like they did for the first Cell Max, and you have to use teams that can't just use those gimmicks, then it is harder than Gogeta because he's hitting not as hard as Gogeta is. He's hitting like a whole million less than Gogeta is, but he's doing it instantly. Gogeta gives you time to debuff him, and he gives every stacker time to stack because that event really is that long, and he still is hard. But if you cannot use those gimmicks against Cell Max, it is a complete RNG fest because there's maybe 3 units in the whole game that will live that super that first turn.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and especially when we get to like missions and stuff like that, that's where it becomes more difficult. Where the Cell Max fight, like there are missions, but it's just running a full like mono team, and that's where like running that full extreme class team where it's like all the different types. That one's a little tricky, right? And even like the full super class one again, there's gonna be some units that could just get like one shot unless you have the absolute best setup ever. So I see that point, but it's a thing where if we're also including missions, then it's like Max is not even the hardest fight. It was, I guess, artificial life forms is better now, if I'm not mistaken, because we have Mr. Boo, which is super useful. But that mission would like make that Beast Gohan fight much more difficult if we're also considering missions, for example, because of the different teams. Well, Max doesn't have those other missions. But again, like if you want to say Max is the hardest fight, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna be like,
I'm
quit the
fine with
game.
saying
Wow.
Max is one of the hardest fights in the game. I'm like, but do I think that I need to rate my units based on how well they perform in a fight that can one tap them, turn one? Maybe not, right? Or like a fight that you
No.
could stun,
I think
or like
you
anything
can.
like
I think you can consider it. I think it should be more of a thing of. I think we should focus on like, okay, if the character doesn't do that well in the Cell Max fight, that's fair, because then they could be a longer term character,
Balance
whereas
here.
like they're stacking and they build up, right?
Mhm.
And there's going to be characters that are going to be good for short events and characters good for long events, right? So that's why there's like a disparity in the different types of
Well,
units
here-
you could bring.
Well,
You know?
well that
Way
is
more units better
well,
for
hold
long
on.
events, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
important.
yeah. I think that
Yeah.
like, well, that's based on meta shifts though, right? Like if a unit, if a celebration comes out and it's exclusively difficult short form content like it was last year, that's a complete meta shift from what it was like whenever Omega Shenron came out, right, at the time, which was a longer form difficult fight. So I'm not like those characters are obviously going to be designed for that certain meta, hopefully, unless it's 2023. It's going to be designed for that meta, and those characters are obviously going to do better in that meta than they would like a longer form content, like you see it this year too. And so I mean I don't know. I think it's just more like a meta based talk than it is anything else. Like, are we going to see more characters tuned to the Cell Max fight? Maybe, but like I don't see that happening because the Cell Max fight is, I mean, as Malacho's been saying, pretty gimmicky, right? Like I don't.
Do you guys think the
mean,
Gogeta fight is that hard before the SDR phase and the final phase?
The
Like, is it
physical
really
phase
that
could be annoying. I mean, again, it hits pretty much as hard as Fusion
Yeah.
Zamasu, right? Like the physical Fusion Zamasu, but he also seals you. So your first character in the rotation could get sealed. So I wouldn't say it's like super mega difficult with the characters we have now, with the best characters in the game. But this physical phase is as hard as the hardest phase was basically before the anniversary, right? That physical Fusion Zamasu phase. I guess you could argue maybe the in phase was harder, but like it was like the hardest hitting boss,
The
right?
difference is,
wouldn't
Alan,
say
I don't think the physical
Alan-
phase was a massive.
Alan, the difference is like most of the phases in that fight can kill you. I mean, other than like the first maybe two, right? Like
They can.
all of them can kill you, right?
Well,
Like,
okay, to be fair, that physical phase
Way
is
hard.
very hard, but an issue is that a lot of teams are so strong now, they can kill the AGL phase in one turn, so you had no time to set up for that physical phase, and then you just get fucking bombed.
yeah.
And I think another thing with Fusion Zamasu is that he also attacks way less, and this is super class as well. So if you're using like some extreme class characters, like right here in this team, like you have the Ginyu right there, he'll take more damage. Well, I guess he's guarding, never mind. But you guys get the point where the extreme class characters will end up taking more damage. But yeah, I think the physical phase, I would say the AGL phase is not really difficult, but the physical phase is not easy. I wouldn't say it's like top tier difficulty, but I think it could. I think that the most annoying thing to me is that seal. That seal is just so annoying, especially if you're
we're dead.
running a character like the tech transforming Vegeta.
We're dead. Yes.
I think the tech
Let me look at
phase
his
is good
stats.
too.
What are his stats?
So
ability? So he's hitting
1.512.
Anyway,
Yeah, so he's hitting for about 1.7, and then his normals hit for around 700k. Again, like very similar to Physical Fusion's Masu. Even like the stats, where it's like he's doing 9 attacks a turn and a cooldown of 9. I think that's also very similar to the Physical Fusion's Masu fight. So it's like, I mean, the same fight.
I mean, I get what you're. I don't think it's that hard of a phase though. I distinctly remember when Zamasu came out, Red Sun Zamasu. Everyone was saying that as soon as you get past the int phase, that the fight is not that hard anymore.
It's because that AOE
they
is so
do hit
annoying,
hard.
right?
They hit
I-
hard, and the seal is that can be annoying. But is it that hard? Not really. Not when you're using good teams.
Okay,
Yeah,
what
not
do you?
like in,
I
well, not
guess.
when you're using good
Well, I
teams,
mean,
right?
that's everything though. Okay, Alan, what makes an event hard to you? Like, do they need to be giving
Um,
AOE's? Do they need to be stunning, sealing? Like,
It
is that?
all comes down. I mean, you've got to really find a metric of difficulty that can be used for every single fight. You can't really pick fights and say, "Oh well, this fight's more difficult in one way, this fight's more difficult in another." If
Yeah,
we're
you
really
can.
like being honest here, you
I
shouldn't.
feel like
It doesn't make sense to do
I would
that.
You can
disagree with
definitely
that
do that.
because
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I mean, only you can go if you want. But
Okay, well, I mean, okay, if every fight is ranked the exact same way, like, okay, yeah, this fight has AOE, you know, if there was a checklist for every single fight in the game, right? AOEs, stuns, seals, you know, high damage, like all of those. I mean, then there's no need for a meta shift or anything like that, right? Everyone's just doing good in those fights.
But it's just
think
not how you should rate
the
it. in
thing
my
is that
opinion.
I guess with how Dokkan designs these events, stuff like that, they design these events where they know certain characters will perform better at this event than others, and that's what they're doing with units. They don't want necessarily, unless it's like I guess the anniversary characters, they don't want every character to be good in every single event. They're based on their different like suits, right? Some characters are going to be good for short events. Some characters are going to be good against pure Saiyans. Some characters are going to be good for longer events, stacking up, right? Um, so I think that it's good to see a character and be like, okay, even though they perform bad in this max fight, they're really good in the Gogeta fight because they're a stacker, right? Um, that's my thought
Yeah,
process on that though.
I do agree, but at the same right. So
Oh,
I would say that the difficult fights, in my opinion, need to be rated by how many units can beat this event consistently.
oh God.
I think
And
that's
how many
fair.
units does it restrict?
I do like
And
the idea though. Where it's
I
like,
get what you mean when you're saying that different units have different strengths, but rating in like top tens in Dokkan and rating against bosses, it's not a logical thing. It's really just a discussion thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, different units can perform way better in certain events than others.
Mhm.
But when you look at the totality, it really has to be like which event is making the most units shit. And
Okay,
that's
but
what, I
why?
mean, I've
But why though? Why?
because that's just a
Well,
Okay,
logical way
okay,
to
okay,
say it.
Alan, hear me out, Alan. Let's say Dokkan loses their fucking brains, right? Like they lose their minds completely, and they come out with an event that's hitting 17 million super attacks, right? With 1 million, 2 million attack AOE's, with 3 million normals or something like that, right? And nothing's able to beat it. That's the hardest fight in the game. We should be rating units on how well they perform in that fight, right?
Yeah, why would you not do that?
Yeah, shut the
I mean-
fuck up, loser. You
What are you talking about? You
I
have
mean,
to
you
okay,
rate.
literally
in a-
can't
in a
play the
sense-
game.
In a sense, the idea is that they're going to bring out a character that's going to be good in that event. And then that character good in that event is going to be good in all the other events, right? But then it's a thing where that's where rating comes in mind, was like basing units off this event. That's the hardest fight, right? But Dokkan is much more expansive with bosses recently with the 9th anniversary, right? Where let's say pre-9th anniversary, if someone was good in the Fusions Mouse fight, they were also going to be good in every other fight in the game. But that's not the case because there's much longer events now. There's much shorter events now. Bosses are doing ceiling locking, stunning now. I think the boss meta is so much better now than it was pre 9th anniversary. So it's a thing where, like, if a character is good in the hardest fight in the game, that doesn't mean that they're going to be good in every single difficult fight like it was previously. I feel,
Yeah,
because
get
9th
that.
anniversary switched things up a bit.
I don't rate like that. I know that might be like where maybe some of the confusion of like when I say I rate like this. I rate based on how units perform in the hardest event almost exclusively, and then secondarily how they perform in what I consider like the lower, maybe the second,
you
third
know
hardest events.
You know who else rated like that, Alan?
If you're gonna say polarity, bro, I mean,
And
I
what did
agree
he
with
get
almost
exposed
polarity.
as, dude? It's weird. Every time somebody brings up consistency when in their ratings. They end up
I
being
mean,
something
the
weird.
thing
I'm just
is-
kidding.
Bro, I was
That-
bringing
that
up like
aside,
literally
that
2
aside,
years
man.
popularity came into the
I'm
community,
joking.
bro.
I'm joking.
Like-
I'm joking.
The communities consistency has really been a thing. Like the whole consistency argument has been there for a while, but I think it really became a thing in the hybrid sailing meta in 2021. That's where like really
Facts.
became a consistency thing, and I think that is a really good way to rate characters, because if a character is consistently good across all these events, then they're going to be a consistently good character. If they're not really RNG based and they're able to do what they're able to do in almost any situation, that makes a very good character. Beast Gohan does the same in any event, no matter
I
what,
agree,
because
yeah.
he's super good, right? So I think consistency is a really good way to rate units and evaluate units, but we have to, I think, because there's these different lengths of fights, we do need to, instead of saying this, I think rather than us saying this one fight is the hardest fight, this should be the main fight that we should judge off, like the Fusions of Masu meta. I think we should get a group of fights where we consider the unit and all those fights equally and get a general consensus of what the character is doing across all those different fights, because all these fights are way differently designed than they were in the Fusions of Masu meta, where like the top 5 hardest fights in the game were pretty much copy paste 2-phase fights, right? And if a character is really good in Fusions of Masu, again, they're good everywhere else. Well, now we should have a collection of different fights that are not like they're all like too drastically different from each other, but I think they're all way more unique than they were in the past. So judging mainly off one fight and then considering the other fights as a secondary may not be the smartest idea, in my opinion, at least right now.
I think it'd be. I think it'd be.
understand it. I get what
I think it'd be a fine way to worry. I just don't think the Cell Max fight should be that fight. You know, I think Gogeta being what he is pretty good.
Honestly, I don't think any of the fights should be that fight, if we're being honest. Again, I think
Oh,
it should
no.
just be a group of fights that we're
Sure.
saying these are the hardest fights,
Yeah, I
rather
agree.
than
Yeah.
Gogeta is the main fight, right? That's my take, though.
Okay. No, I could agree with that. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I get that, but that drastically changes ratings, and I think that from some of the tier lists, I haven't
Wait,
seen
but
many,
Alan,
to be
how though? How does it change ratings? Because
I
if
mean,
you're
it
if you're
Look,
good
a
in
lot
one
of
fight,
high
if you're good in
ratings
one
and then
fight and you're
a lot of
consistently good, if you're good in one fight and you're consistently good in all these other fights, it shouldn't change the rating too much.
Yeah,
It
I
just
think
makes
it's a
the
thing
character look
where
better.
this
Well, no,
character
because
is going to
well,
be
the second hardest or
Alan.
first hardest fight
Well,
is
it's
being
still-
rated that lowly.
Alan,
then
if they're doing
No,
good,
no,
if they're
because-
doing good in 2 fights or even 2 of the 5 fights, right? Then people could be like, okay, maybe this character isn't one we're gonna want to run because it can't get past one of the hardest fights, right? Or it
Yeah.
can't get past the 3rd hardest fight, right? Like people could they could still consider this character not good enough or pretty damn
Outside of
good if it's
gimmick
able to beat
I
all of
agree,
them.
but
If you
then
could
if a
beat
character is
Gogeta and
good in
Cell
like
Max,
4
you
of
can
these
investigate.
5, if a character is good in like 4 of the 5 fights, right? For example, then it's like, okay, this character is going to be very useful across the entire game. It makes us want to rate this character higher because they're more valuable in how the game meta is, and it makes us it makes it a thing where, okay, if you want to summon for this character, even this character is this good, and it could be potentially worth to consider summoning for them, especially if you really like the character.
Yeah,
In a
yeah.
vacuum,
I
not
know what you're
kinda
saying.
Like
yeah.
it doesn't change your
I-
consistency argument at all. In fact, it should help your consistency argument.
I
If
think
a
it
unit
does help the consistency argument.
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
I mean, I agree and disagree at the same time.
How
I get
though?
what you're
How,
saying. but
Alan, if you're okay, if we're only looking at one specific fight, right? Somax, okay?
yeah,
Let's say Somax, Beast Gohan, Blue Gogeta. Who else do we want to rate? Like Trunks, I guess. Like
I
those
don't.
fights.
Yeah, I don't really get that. I mean,
Okay, but-
Gogeta and Cell Max are so easily above the other fights. I don't see why you'd rate any other fight really.
Because like Minato said, if we're looking like this is helping your argument out. I don't know how you could disagree.
We're not gonna
If-
act like the Beast Gohan
No,
fight, or like there's the Spring Battle Spectacle Beast Gohan, but there's also the what's it called, the Movie
Blue-
Memorial Beast
yeah,
Gohan,
yeah.
where the orange pickle has the locking.
This stream
that Beast Gohan
sucks.
hitting for,
That's
like,
so
3 mil
mean.
super.
I mean, that fight was kind of overrated in difficulty at the get-go. To be fair, I don't think that's as difficult as Gogeta.
I don't know.
But if you can,
Hey,
I
can
wouldn't
beat
say
moving-
it's
Gogeta,
difficult as Gogeta.
We're gonna have
I
to move
don't
on
see
from
why.
the
that-
we're gonna have to
anyway,
move on from the
I just-
fights topic soon. But like, yeah, I don't think that like consistency is probably good. You're probably right. Like, rating based on consistency in a bunch of fights though is gonna be a lot better than rating on consistency and just how good one like a team is going to do in one fight in particular. I could agree
No,
with I could agree with the
again,
consistency argument. How consistent
is
is a
this is
unit
different.
and a team going to be throughout the entire game, rather than just how good is a unit going to be in just one fight, or how good is a team going to be in one fight, right? Like
Yeah,
that.
but with
and-
that system, you'd have to rate every fight fairly equally, and the
No, you
fights
wouldn't.
clearly are not.
The
No, you
not every
don't.
single fight, just the
How would you
top
not rate that?
fights.
Yeah, just the
I don't
top,
understand
just the
how you
top
rate-
fights, the difficult fights in the
And then
game.
if you
Yeah,
personally
so good
want
Jeter and
to,
Selmac.
if you personally want to hold like a specific fight a little above the rest, sure, but they should all be. It shouldn't be where this fight is one, and then these other fights are in the same tier under as two. It should be. They should all be in the same
Mm.
footing mostly, right? It shouldn't be
I
like a
think,
gap.
yeah, but kind of. I don't
And even
really.
now, there isn't
I-
even now there isn't really even a gap in between
Because
all.
again,
Like
even if you think Cell Max is like, okay, he's the hardest fight because he's turn one, he can do 3 mil, right? But then every other event is a long event where like if every other event in the game, because it's a long event, those characters that are good in Cell Max aren't going to be good everywhere
That's
else
the
in the
problem.
game. How does that help a consistency argument and how good the character is going to be in the game if they're only good in the Cell Max fight, but they're consistently not performing well in those
yeah,
other
exactly,
fights, right?
exactly. Like
obviously,
if they make
if there's units that are only good in short form content, then yeah, they're going to be lower in ratings. But I think most units that doesn't even apply to. There's maybe a select handful of units that are actually really good in short form content and not good in long form content. Most of the time, it's going to be units that are way better in long form content, like SGR Super Vegeta and Bootanks, that get absolutely cream pied in Cell Max because their base forms are just not that good.
I mean,
and
being
that's why
fair
I
with
think
Boo Tanks, he still does have the chance to get the 50% dodge and the guard. I wouldn't say he's
yeah,
crazy for Cell Max, but it's not like he's bad in there. It could be both ways. But it's a thing
he's
where
kind of
even though the character could be ran in either form of the contents, right?
Yeah, we're gonna talk
And they're
so.
specifically good in that one content, it's a thing where, like, let's say Boo Tanks is like decent in that fight because he has potentially 50% chance to dodge, he has the guard, right? He could work there. But he's not going to be one of the best options, whilst in all those other fights, he's going to be one of the top options. It's a thing where the short form character, they're not going to perform as nearly as well as these other characters, which means that they're not necessarily meeting the standard of these long form content fights. Even though they could still be ran in there, that doesn't mean they're necessarily going to be really good there. So that's
Yeah.
where the consistency
This-
comes in, right?
we're gonna switch topics though. We're gonna switch. We're gonna stay on events, but I want to ask because this is something that happened very recently, and I think it's very relevant. Bosses now have, crit. How are we feeling about that? How do you guys
I have a hot
feel?
take. I think people are mega overreacting because
Yeah,
it's a
yeah, yeah.
thing where we don't even know how it works still.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've seen so many people act like, oh, this what is going to happen when this boss crits and then you die and then you're just angry at it, right? It's like fair. It'll be a feels bad moment, but it's not like there aren't bosses that could just
Yeah,
hit
exactly.
many characters and
Yeah.
one shot them anyways. And
Yeah.
it's like a thing where we don't even know, are they going to specifically crit on supers? Are they going to crit on normals as well? Is it going to be my thought? In my opinion, I think what they might do is they might tie it to a domain skill or a territory skill.
Right,
And
right, right.
then, like, if it's only tied in that territory skill, then you could even use domains to bring it down. High damage reduction units could still work really well there. Dodge characters just are better there. And then it's just another thing where it just, you have to be better at your team building and consider bringing other characters, right? Because it's a thing where, okay, maybe I shouldn't bring Blue Evolution Vegeta for this fight. And I should instead put Angel UI Goku in that fight because he could just straight up dodge the crit chance super attack rather than me putting Blue Evolution Vegeta there and then he doesn't tank it because he just gets instantly hit with the super. It's just a thing where you bring different units that are good for the strengths of the fights, right?
Yeah.
And I think people are thinking it at very face value.
Mhm.
And the bosses crit, they're not going to make these bosses hit for like 1.5 mil damage, right? Potentially, right? And even if they do, again, you can still bring those dodge units, take 0 damage, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's like I would assume the stats of the bosses may go down as well, which could arguably give you a lot more flexibility in even running some older characters. Because if the boss isn't always going to crit, but they lower the attack values because of that, then you could potentially bring some of these older characters that are, I wouldn't say necessarily gimmicky, but that could potentially help you with, I don't know, let's say even the androids or with the ghost usher, you get a ghost usher that away, or old characters that were dodge and die, maybe they're not dodge and die anymore, and they could provide some utility.
Mhm.
So we'll see. For all we know, from what I understand, the crit will work the same as characters that are going to crit, but it's not 100% until we see what it's actually going to be. And I believe this is probably going to be implemented in some difficult content during the Golden Week celebration, because that's when they announce boss upgrades, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that works. But that's
Crit-
my take on it. I think people are vastly like being. It could hurt the game in a bad way, right? If they do it wrong. But I think people are vastly overrating what kind of effect it could be.
Yeah, I think
Gotcha.
very easily. I think very easily it could be done pretty poorly. But also, I mean, if a boss is going to kill you, and if it's like let's say if it's a later stage boss, the boss is going to kill you anyway. If you got hit with a super attack, right? Like the best characters in the game aren't dying to a crit, right? Just because a boss crits, that's not happening. I don't think. Like UI Goku, Beast Gohan, Evolution Blue Vegeta. Like I don't think those guys are dying, super duper easily because a boss crits. Maybe they take some damage, but it's not, you know.
I don't know about that, bro.
What do you
It depends how
mean?
hard.
I mean,
If it depends how hard it
depends on
is.
how hard they
Yeah,
hit,
I
but
know, but I'm going
there's
to go
no way
off
they're
the
gonna make a
assumption.
boss crit
Yeah,
that's doing 2 mil damage, right?
yeah.
If it's no, if it does like what 800k,
And
it
then
would
it's
be
like,
scary.
I mean, let's say Blue Evolution Vegeta has 50% reduction, then he'll take 400 to 500k damage, even on just the verse hit, right? And then it's a situation where you still live, and that team has like 700 HP, right? So, like again, these high reduction units or UI Goku, STR UI Goku, just straight up dodge it, right? Even God Topo, just straight up with the 80% reduction, he gets supered instantly. It won't matter, right? So I think it depends on the characters you're reading. Some characters, like let's say the Gammas in their pre-standby form, it's going to be a situation where, even in their post-standby form, where they could just like maybe not be as good. Broly is a character who, like in his base form, all he has is the guard and the defense. So maybe Broly's not going to be as good in those fights because of the crits, right? But then you just bring another character,
Right. You're living in the past, Nakima. The LR Fizz Tournament of Power duo, they're good, but they're not like they can. They are one of the people who can get you killed by some of those super attacks, my guy. That one turn,
Blue Cow can Goku and Evolution Vegeta.
yeah, they can get you killed.
I mean,
sure.
some super attacks can kill them, but it's a thing where it's like the super attacks that kill them kill everyone else for the most part, besides the characters that would be above them.
Yeah, exactly.
They're so good though. I just every time you use them, they just feel so easy to use.
They're very good.
But yeah, outside of that turn where they get the full mega reduction, it's like super attacks could hurt them. But
Yeah.
even if they have that turn where they could just like live any super in the game, which is really nice. I think people don't like when I see people don't even really talk about the unit. I think everyone just agrees that character is good. So there's like never any discussion on them on the timeline like ever, right? Because they're not like they're just straight up a good character, and I think everyone just agrees. So it is kind of interesting. Maybe that'll be my tweet today. I'd be like, people should appreciate this character more, and then just put them because they're so fun and easy to use. But maybe it'd be stupid. It's like, well, yeah, of course we like it. I don't know. I want to make a tweet about them. Maybe I'll just say I love this character. In fact, I'll do it right now.
Howard, how do you feel about bosses critting?
I think it's a good thing. I want. Well, okay. For so long, content really was just okay. How much harder is the boss hitting? That's all it's been. None of the like auxiliary effects, like stunning, sealing, debuffing, all that shit. None of that was on the table for like 4 years. It's literally just been a numbers off between you and the boss the whole time, and it was getting really boring. To me, if they just give bosses every ability, like if they can stun me, if they can seal me, if they can crit, if they can additional, if they can dodge, but I can too, that's way more fun. If just everything is on the table, that's so much more fun than just a slugfest of who has the bigger number.
And then it makes bosses more unique as well, right?
I agree.
It's fun.
Would
Well-
it not be hilarious? So they give bosses like a 5% chance to crit, and then someone's run just gets fucked by 5% chance. That would just
Yeah,
be
it's
scary
That
hilarious.
would be
top to
great.
bottom.
Yeah.
right?
That
I think
you go
there's
into
the
the
risk
boss
there.
having that risk. Yeah, you go into the boss knowing that there's a risk that a boss could just crit you for 3 million and then you die, right? Like
Yeah.
that. But I
Truth
mean,
would be shuddering if that ever gets added. You get like 5 crits
well,
back to back.
truth is one of the main detractors of that, right? He does not like the idea of bosses being able to crit for some reason. He's like a dodge lover. I don't know why.
I
he
mean,
wouldn't
I
be.
think the thing is that it depends. I think Truth can make a tweet about that, but then we don't know like the context behind it or why exactly he said that. Because I don't think he's given his actual full thoughts in like some video or anything. But it could be a thing where he's like, well, with boss crits, if they're gonna do like 1.5 mil, it's like, there's not a lot of workaround, and maybe in his mind, but I guess I gotta give that old man a pep talk again, remind him
Yeah, I gotta
that
slap
he's
him
dumb.
silly again. Yeah, go ahead and give him.
That guy, the old man, the worst take sometimes,
I
Easy.
I know you're talking, bro. You are fucking the stutter master around that man.
Who me?
Who,
I
me?
stutter all the time.
You talking about I gotta slap him silly again, bro? Shut up.
No, I said Minato needs to slap him silly.
Uh-huh.
That's what I said. Yeah, look at this guy. Dude, stop listening to the voices in your head, all right? Start listening to the reality. Okay.
To Minato because Minato is a real man and you're not is actually crazy.
Well,
that's pretty
I
crazy.
mean,
I wouldn't take that
Minato's in a
very
VC more than I am with him, right? I can't really snap.
Bro said, well, I mean,
I can't really slap Truth silly if I'm not in a VC with the guy, right? Minato usually is, so I mean,
I'll just
what do you want me to
go
do?
have you,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that sounds like the good idea. Just get rid of him.
Yeah, it's over for you to Truth GT. But yeah. Anyways, that's all the time I have for today. But
Okay,
it was fun
man.
talking with y'all.
thank you
Just
for
wanted to
stopping
hop
by.
in for a second.
Use a
No
bit
problem.
raw.
Stay
Huh?
safe.
I'd probably have to tip as well.
Okay, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
back to the 3 regular co-hosts. Damn it. God damn.
I'll see y'all later. Bye,
See you, man.
y'all.
Have a good one.
See you in a
Stay
bit.
safe.
later.
Bye.
Bye.
I
Someone was
agree.
flaming me in the chat, by the way.
What did you say?
Someone was just when I was talking to Minato, someone just kept on like dragging my name through the word in chat.
The average Dokkan community.
Ignore the
member.
haters, bro. Ignore the haters, man.
Somebody kept
No,
comparing.
they're
They
saying,
weren't
oh.
comparing you, but like someone kept lumping you in with polarity.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro,
Yeah,
what?
Well, no, that I think
Alan and polarity have a very weird way of looking at the game, and it's like, where did polarity come from?
Yeah, bro.
Well, no. To be fair,
was
I did.
saying
I
this
did
before,
directly
not
compare
you.
them. Basically, I did compare them. Basically, I said, polarity also thought consistency was pretty, a pretty good way to rate
you're a
units.
pretty nice guy.
Thanks, man.
Ah.
Thank you, dude. But yeah, I think crits for the game would be bosses being able to crit would be so cool. Like they
It'd be
already,
epic, it'd be-
yeah. Imagine additionals though. I think additionals would be way worse than crits. Like imagine bosses just being able to super attack like, twice in the same slot. Like that'd be really terrible.
Imagine super, bro. They already super attacked twice. Bro.
They do
That's-
super attack twice.
That's
But I
already
mean,
a
like
mechanic in the game.
obviously, but I mean,
they
in
could literally just make it
succession. In succession.
so, they could just make it so that happens.
Yeah.
They
In
had
succession.
the beast fight, or I don't remember which one, but one of the beast fights is scripted, so they could literally just put 2 super attacks right next to each other.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Right.
If they really wanted
This is
to,
personal.
well, what
Yeah,
I mean is it's one of the attacks. It's not 2 attacks. It's one attack that's able to do it twice. That's what I'm saying. Like similar to how
Only
your
I'm gonna need
character's
to
able to do
this knacking a person, bro.
it. Polarity slander, not appreciated. Nakina, come on, man,
Nakina.
bro.
He was a.
Come on, man. Stop defending the guy.
Come on.
Holy shit.
This is not
Anyway.
a guy you should be defending, bro.
Hey, thank you for the subscribe, King. I appreciate that, man. But yeah, I think crits would be good. I think additionals would be way more dangerous for the game than crits ever would be.
Well, if,
Doesn't
I
even
think
make
crits
sense.
are going to be really scary.
It
if
does
they
make
work the
sense.
It doesn't, bro. What the fuck do you
Dude,
mean? You
I'm
already
not
have
saying
one-
I'm not saying 2 attacks. I'm saying one attack that is able
Dude,
to do additional 2
dude,
times.
look at the
So, like,
screen, bro.
zero-
There's multiple
zero-
attacks in the
no.
same slot. What?
Are
Yeah,
you,
but I don't
are you
know-
guys
that
just like
doesn't even make
refusing to understand what I'm saying, or what?
They
I'm
I know what you
confused.
mean.
literally
but
just
how
add
is it-
more
how is it
attacks.
dangerous?
That's just how it
Yeah.
works for enemies.
No,
Yeah, how
Beyond.
is
That's
it-
not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying. Okay.
You're saying that
You have one
super-
character, right? You have one character in each slot, right? 1, 2, and 3. Okay. When your character additionals, you don't get more attacks, right? Throughout the field, buddy. You just attack another time. That's it. I'm not saying that the boss is gonna have 17 different attacks in slot 1. I'm saying he's going to have, 3 attacks, but one of those attacks has the chance of being an additional attack. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
Yeah.
Bro,
so
you had
once
quite
they
a
super
few-
twice in the same slot, how is that dangerous at all? Is you on a good slot 1? That's
Alan,
basically it.
Okay, let's say there's a situation where, like, you put your slot 3 unit in, obviously in slot 3, okay? And the boss super is there. If there's the chance that the boss supers twice, like maybe there's a chance that you survive in slot 3 if he supers once, okay, maybe. But if he supers twice, you're just dead. Guaranteed. Right,
That's kind of fringe in this matter, bro.
Well,
I mean,
you're-
if you
you're
get
also
super
taking
off,
it at complete
It
face
would
value.
just be funny. I'm just saying, like, I feel like all of the things should be in the game. Like, and additional is one of those things I think I'd like to see.
Well,
what? So
yeah,
say
I mean,
if they had like a 50% chance to get an additional super in the slot, that would be toxic, sure, but that's nowhere near as bad as crits, bro. I think you're underestimating crits a lot.
see, but you're saying that, taking it at face value. If they're massively raising attack like Gogeta is, like his super attack goes from 2.7 to 3.6 off of supering once. Imagine he does it again.
Yeah.
Cool, Beast Gohan will live it. What does everybody else do about his 2.8 million normals now?
Exactly. You're
Like,
you're not like the boss attack effects also come into play there too.
What? So you're saying every boss gets additional? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just
I don't-
saying.
they wouldn't give it
No,
that.
I'm just saying. Probably you don't know what they'd fucking do. Man,
No,
we're not
don't
the
give it
devs.
to free
Yeah,
boss,
that's
because,
a little
you know,
bit-
not
okay.
every boss can crit, not every boss can raise attack, not every boss can be debuffed, but like put it on the table. Give it to
Yeah.
a boss.
If you were to do that, yeah, it would. Yeah, but that'd be like no different from if they just did two supers in a turn anyway. It'd be the exact same.
Well, I'm not arguing that
yeah.
point. That was Oni. That was his thing.
Wait, no, that was Beyond's thing, dude.
What?
I'm just kidding. But yeah,
Anytime you could delegate blame to someone else but himself, dude.
No,
my God.
listen, I'm just saying, like, I think additionals would be interesting too. Like, sure, a bot. It'd be funny if the boss could super 3 times in a turn. Like, that'd be sick. But I'm just saying, additionals could be cool to see a boss do as well. Dangerous, I
It'd be
think,
cool.
definitely a lot more dangerous than this in that particular boss. Definitely a lot more dangerous than crits would be, though, for sure.
Well, do we
Well,
know
that's
if
bullshit.
the
No,
boss
it wouldn't
crits
even
work?
be-
We don't know how
Go
the
on,
boss
sorry.
crits work. No, I don't think so.
Oh, they
Because if
yeah,
it
they're
works
gonna work.
exactly as it does for players, then it'd be terrifying. I think.
Yeah, it would be the worst thing. in the game by
Ignores
far.
defense, ignores guard, super effective.
Well, that's just
Even
why
if it's like a 400k crit stat, bro, it would still do like what 250k to someone with 40% damage reduction.
Yeah,
Like,
sure,
it'd
but
be fucking.
I mean,
damage
but
reduction and dodge are the only mechanics that can do anything about crits.
Yeah,
well, I mean, we're getting so many damage reduction in guard damage reduction in guard
This is
and
what
damage
this is
reduction
what
in dodge
Toppo was
characters.
built for, bro.
Exactly.
yeah. I
Topo
mean,
and-
yeah, I think the crit is not the most dangerous shit in the game if they do it wrong, but they're not gonna. They're gonna make it like either a super low chance, or they're not gonna make it work like unit crit.
I think it's going to be tied to something. I don't think it's going to be like, honestly, I think we're overblowing. I feel like, this could, for all we know, this could be like, you have to wait a certain amount. The boss is going to count down, and then he's going to do a crit attack that guarantee kills you. Like, we don't know how it's going to be implemented.
Yeah, that'd be kind of shit. It'd be-
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I reckon what they might do. I like the idea of the domains. I think that actually makes a lot of sense because that also offers counterplay. What if they just make it so like a boss has a domain to do like 5% crit each attack or something? That would make more sense to me.
Then I'd be angry. No, I'm just kidding.
But that
I
would
don't
be
know.
kind of fun.
Yeah, the
That would be
territory
fun.
skill.
It would be-
It's probably going to be tied to territory skills. I wouldn't doubt that. I really wouldn't. It just makes the most sense to me.
Imagine how funny it would be though.
I
Seeing
think
someone get so
I would love to see the True TT get slammed and destroyed by 5% RNG. Like, that'd be funny as hell. Yes, I agree. Yeah, it'd be great.
like I think I think we get too much into the conversation of like. For some reason, this community doesn't like hard content. I don't know why. They do like dread new hard content coming out where they actually have to play the game properly rather than like brainlessly fucking click bubbles in.
Well, hold on, Mr. Superheroes player. Let's stop judging them, okay, man? Your team is nothing but brainlessly popping bubbles, dude. Come on,
Bro,
stop.
I was a hybrids pioneer, bro. I literally engineered the team in
I'm
our
just
OG
saying-
Red Zone.
I'm just saying, man. Superheroes never have to play the game properly because it's just mindless bubble popping.
Yeah, no, I'm not. All right, Superheroes is the best team in the game. That's why it's the best team in the game, bro.
Uh-huh.
It's just unbelievably strong. But I don't know. I think crit would be fun. I think making the game harder is always fun.
Okay,
I
so
don't know
none of
why
us
it's a hot-
none of us disagree with the fact that crits can be implemented at all. Like we think it's going to be a fun thing.
Yeah, sure. Huh?
Howard?
He died.
Okay, so Howard's dead. We lost a co-host, guys. Anyway, Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
You asked and I gave my opinion. Why did you need it again?
well, just to finish up
He
the
needs
thoughts so we
affirmation.
can move
bro.
on. Just to finish up the thoughts so we can move on.
Guy,
But okay, I mean, if we all think it's a good thing, that's great. What else happened? I mean, I guess super easy is. I did want to talk about it while Minato was here, but Alan decided to have a civil discussion for like 2.5 hours about it.
Bro,
Difficult.
Minard
combo
came in and he was on smoke. I couldn't really help it. I had
against-
to discuss it.
Super Easy Ace, I feel validated, okay, when it comes to Super Easy Ace. I said Super Saiyan 3 Goku could have had more. And what did my co-host do to me? They railed me. They bent me over. They tried to teach me who was boss. And you know what? I feel validated, dude. Because yeah, Super Saiyan 3 Goku could have had more. He could have. But because it was a shared celebration on Global, I know he was worse for it. It sucks. It sucks a little bit. Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is such an upgrade. He is honestly what I thought Super Saiyan 3 Goku could have been. What do you guys think? How do you guys feel about Super Easy A Gotenks?
I'm thinking I need to dip. So I'll see you guys later.
See you, man. Have a good one.
All right. Have a nice stream.
I'm-
Goodbye, bye.
Look up his details.
Later on. I'm
Come on.
confused why you're taking this random shot at Global when we also just got Go tanks at the same time, and he's the exact same.
I don't know, man. It's just funny. It's just funny
You
that shit
also
on
got
Global. I do it all the time.
Kefir while You guys got Bardock. So do you really
So then
wanna
why was
start
so
that?
then there is no excuse for Goku to be the way he was.
There literally is, and I've given it to you maybe 6 different times.
Well, how about this? I don't count that. I'm not gonna count that because they could have just made the Dokkan Fest way better than Super Saiyan 3 Goku. They could
There's
have.
no reason they did it like that. Well, actually, here's the reason. Well, I don't like that reason, so fuck you.
Yeah, I'm
They
gonna ignore
could've-
that.
That is such a stupid reason to hold a character back. It really is stupid.
The game is to make money. If they reduce one of the options for making money, then they're going against
That's
themselves.
their own damn fault. They decided to release Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Okay, the same time Super Saiyan 3 Goku came out on JP. That is their fault entirely. If they wanted more money, they should have just made. If they wanted more money, they should have just made New Year's the exact same time. They should have.
Yeah, but you know goddamn well that if they didn't choose Super Saiyan 3 Goku for the first Super Easy A, it would go right back to everyone complaining the exact same way they were complaining about the Tech LR Super Saiyan 3. Well, why is he the oldest one and he hasn't Easy A'd yet? Why is he the oldest one? And he hasn't
Who's
Super
arguing?
Easy
Wait,
A'd
who's
yet?
arguing
It's a
that?
fucking complaint.
Who's arguing that? I'm just saying that if they weren't stupid and they didn't hold back Global from sharing New Year's with JP, maybe Super Saiyan 3 Goku could have been better. Except probably not. Probably not. Because I don't think that was the reason. I think he was just the
point-
bad. I think it was just the bad first Super Easy A.
But he's not bad.
He's not bad.
And he's worse comparatively to the other ones. That's all. That's what I'm saying.
Barely.
to the others.
Compared to the other one,
Yeah. The one who's infinitely
the
better.
one had to be worse.
The summonable Dokkan Fest.
Are you dumb? What do you mean?
Literally, one of them had to be better than the other one. They could not be the exact same unit. No matter who it was, one of them was going to be better and one of them was
Hold
going
on.
to be worse.
Hold on. No, okay, yeah, sure. But it's like night and day to me. Gotenks is just like night and day better to me.
Gotenks does 30 million in one attack, and that's the only attack he gets. Goku does 12 million in 3 attacks, and that's what he does, and they both die.
Boring.
I mean, you
Gotenks
can
is the
do
goat,
that,
man.
but you're wrong, and you know you're wrong.
I feel validated, man. What can I say? Gotenks is the goat.
You feel validated
Super Saiyan 3
because
Goku.
you don't have
Super
you don't
Saiyan 3
have an
Goku.
actual point to your validation.
Boring. Boring. Easy A. It's okay though. It's okay.
So you're just a brain dead APT guy. You just saw Gotenks with a bigger number, even though he's doing less damage, and that's all it took for you.
No, not at all. No. He does more than
then
just
what's the
damage,
difference?
though. That's the difference. He does more than just damage.
Yeah, he has dodge.
He has support too.
Well, the Super Saiyan 3 Goku do.
He also has support, doesn't he?
Temporarily.
It's still support. What is Goku supporting? Nothing. I'm just saying, I like what Gotenks is doing more than Super Saiyan 3 Goku. And Super Saiyan 3 Goku easily could have had that stuff. Like, easily.
Okay, so here's a question then. Goku is on what teams? He's on Movie Heroes, like the second best team in the game. That doesn't need support. What team is Gotenks on? Special Pose, because that's where you're gonna run him. You know what every single release that team just got has? Support. Why? Because they need the synergy, because all of those units are vastly different and don't really share links.
Okay, but that's like hyper focusing on one of his teams. He's on multiple different teams, man. Now he's
What
support.
team are you running? All of those other ones are dead. What? Fusion? Majin Buu Saga?
Is
Go
Fusion
ahead,
is
tell me
Fusion
what-
gonna be dead forever? Is Majin Buu Saga gonna be dead
Yes.
forever? Probably not.
By the time they're good, which is probably going to be 10th anniversary, he's already phased out. He's already done. I'm not going to be relying on a super easy A that's 9 months old for 10th anniversary.
Nah,
and you're
man.
not either.
Nah, man. You're cooked, bro. I mean, he's just infinitely better, cooler. I mean, he has the fusion drip. Super Saiyan 3 Goku loses.
But you
It's just
haven't
over for
given me
you.
an actual reason why he's better.
He has the drip, bro. What are you talking about? He has the aura. I don't know what you need. I don't know what more you need. Also, didn't they say they were doing... Was Gotenks even... No, he wasn't. What? Didn't they say they were doing all of these guys in succession? He wasn't the second one.
They
Right?
didn't say they were going to do them in order.
They said
just
that
they were
was.
gonna do 'em
They said they were
separately.
gonna try.
They were going to try it and do it in order. That's such,
Like
that's such a
the
weird thing to say.
intention, the intention was to do it in order, but obviously this was better
Yeah.
for the special
Well-
pose celebration.
Oh, okay, to be fair, I don't know if they necessarily meant that. I think they more so just meant they want to keep it on a consistent schedule where they keep pushing them out instead of them just being at like sporadic random times.
I mean, that's probably the healthiest way to do it, honestly. I think we even said that when they first come out, is they need to drop him like every celebration. I think is just the
Yeah,
best way to do
every
it.
celebration needs an easy A, a couple sub easy A's, and a super easy A.
Yeah.
That's like half the content of the celebration, and that's not a bad thing. But like, they've given us another slot. Use it. You have like 100 units to super easy A before you even get out of 2019.
True. And now that Chain Battle's out of the game, like there's really literally no excuse to not drop like a extra piece of content like this, right? Like it just makes sense.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Is they're taking out the one game
Nakina,
mode.
you are a
that-
Super Saiyan 3 Rose supporter. Stop it, man.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. But
That is embarrassing.
They've taken out Chain Battle, which is like, really the only use people had for these old units, which was fine. We had a game mode that utilized old characters because they weren't being used anywhere else. But now that the one place they were going to be utilized is gone, they are worthless. They have to give them their value back.
That same shirt. What are you talking about, Pune? Whatever, man. I'm not even gonna try. That's such a stupid comment. I shouldn't have even read it out loud. Yeah, I mean, however, Chain Battle was like whatever, man. It disappearing. If it somehow it comes. I don't like what they replaced it with. I think it's worse. But like it disappearing. Like I don't
Regardless of your
care.
opinions on it, it is just a fact that it gave value to units that don't have any outside of it.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that.
But now that that's gone, a lot of those units are back to having no value at all.
It's
So
more
super
like
easy to
it's more like 2 minutes of it was like 2 minutes of value though. It wasn't even like that big a deal though, right? Like it didn't really matter.
It took me 45 seconds to get 10 Elder Kais and enough hidden potential orbs to rainbow a unit of each type.
I know,
It
yeah,
took me less
but
than a minute to get that.
well, I know, but like that's my point. You're not getting much value out of these older units. It's just specifically for the rewards, right? That's it. Like it's literally 45 seconds
Well,
of your
yeah,
time.
but now that that's gone, what are they giving you? What is
Super
what
easy
is
A's,
physically
stuff.
legendary Super Saiyan Broly giving you in your box right now? What's he doing for you?
Nothing, but like eventually he could.
Exactly, but he was doing shit in chain battle. He had a value.
And
Doesn't
I
matter if
mean,
you like
and
the game
but
or not. He had
okay, but
value
that's
somewhere.
irrelevant though. That's irrelevant now that we have Super Easy 8. These characters are
It's
going to have
irrelevant
value a
now,
game.
This is why I'm saying they need to push Super Easy A's more. That's the whole fucking point.
Okay. Well, okay, we agree on that then. Yeah. He won't be collecting dust though. He won't be collecting dust forever.
They don't need to be, because a lot of those units have some of the best art in the game still, which is low key kind of sad. But like,
Never been
a
a fan
lot
of
of
this
those
guy's
old
design.
arts work.
Yeah.
The animations don't, but frankly, I don't really give a shit.
I think Super Easy A's are gonna end up being. There are only a couple Super Easy A's that I'm really hyped for. Kid Buu being one of them. Like, if they're on the same tier as like, let's clear things up. I don't think Super Sentai Goku is bad at all. I think he's good. I just think, and I've said this before, I wish he had more. I wish the Super Easy A's could have more to them than what they do.
Yeah, but
That's all.
only wait until they get around to, because they did confirm. Well, it's like a soft confirm that they will be doing free to plays and other shit just later, not right now. Because initially they just said outright like, yeah, it's only Dokkan Fest and it's only LRs. And then after that, if you remember that update they gave us, they're like, yeah, it's gonna be Dokkan Fest and LRs for now.
Hune, shut up, man. Oh my god, dude, you are like
So like
worse
they,
than.
they were insinuating that free to plays are gonna get it. So when the free to play Ginyu Force comes back around on that super easy A type shit,
That's true. That is true.
it's gonna be
It's gonna go-
fun.
It's gonna go hard. Yeah, for sure.
Gonna suck to grind it though.
I doubt it. I don't think.
Imagine they make it worse to grind.
They-
than
they
the
made-
normal free to play stuff.
They made it so much. There's literally no excuse not to get those units. They made it too easy to get those guys now.
Dude, kids have it so easy now grinding these fucking
There's literally zero excuse not to have them.
dude. Oh my god. Oni, I saw a fucking tweet when they first introduced the power level bonuses.
Mhm.
This kid was grinding a Prime Battle LR and he got 60 medals in one run.
Yeah. They don't know, bro. They don't know, man. They do
Dog,
not
I was
know.
getting fried.
Yeah.
Like, y'all have it easy.
Way too easy nowadays, man. Like, it's insane. Back then, when you had to actually grind up the Ginyu Force, like from like, oh my god, and then like, oh dude, their orbs and everything too. Like, there is literally zero
I was about to
excuse.
say, don't even get me started on the free to plays that you couldn't even rainbow with regular orbs.
Yeah.
You had to go get more orbs too.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. They do not know the struggle.
Just doing that.
Yeah. And honestly, and at the time, dude, you had to put in one orb at a time too. There was no auto orb feature. So all of those orbs you had to click one it was the worst experience of all time. Literally
Yes,
zero
skibbity
excuse.
hair.
But anyway, I think that there was another topic I wanted to bring up. Super Easy Ace, hopefully more, better versions of them come. I think I even think that Super Easy 8 Gotenks is a little lacking in some departments, right? Like, he needs for them to say that we're gonna make these characters super viable or age better. It just doesn't make sense to get them just dodge. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, he also has DR.
I mean, yeah, but isn't that like very specific?
I think it's good. He did just fine.
Well, they added like let's see. Give me a second.
Yeah, it would take like an hour to. Yeah, AC. It was the old potential system was terrible. Dude, it was terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't good. And I've been one of those people that's been on the like even before Chain Battle, just for like the completionist purpose, I was always one of those people that rainbowed every unit they could, including all the free to plays. So I had to trudge through that fucking mud like daily.
Yeah. It sucks so bad. It sucks so off. It was so fucking bad. Okay, so we discussed boss crits, Super Easy 8 Go Tanks, and then I guess the one thing. Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about, bring up before we read questions?
Well, I haven't really complained about it because it's not like it matters too much. But them doing them out of order did like fuck me over specifically.
Oh, why's that?
Oh, Broly.
Yeah,
Oh,
because the
yeah.
next one was Broly.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I was
fair
so
enough.
excited. I was like, dude, we're about to have a usable legendary Super Saiyan Broly again. And they were like, hey, what if we skipped like 18 spots up instead? Thanks.
Yeah, Broly's gonna be a hype one. He's definitely got an interesting base. I'm curious. Hopefully they just
Well, I don't know. Like,
Well,
STR Broly
presumably.
is interesting, but the physical one is the one I'm really banking on.
the Fizz one. Yeah. SCR is gonna be. Oh no. STR one doesn't have a. SCR one could have an interesting like design though. You know, I assume he's gonna be somewhat similar to. I mean, he's got additionals, and that's pretty good.
To be fair, well, because he AOE's as well. To be
Yeah.
fair, they had like he used to be really scared of
Oh,
AOE's.
he's an AOE. Oh, he's
I-
cooked. He's cooked.
Well, I kind of think they don't care anymore, right? Because you look at LR Broly and his 18 key being
Yeah.
being an AOE that hits like a 30 million, or like LR Super Boo who casually drops 22 millions with no links active and it's an AOE. Like, I kind of think they just stopped caring.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really imagine what utility they're going to give him that he doesn't already have, but I can probably bank on him hitting pretty hard.
Yeah, right. It's a little. He's gonna be a little bit more wonky than the Fizz one. I could probably see where they're gonna go with the Fizz one, but the STR one, I have no idea. Like maybe they're they're gonna have to give him a lot, man. They're gonna have to give him a lot to be crazy
That's
good.
the thing with the physical one, they don't really have to give him much. He already triple supers. He has 40% built-in crit, and he stacks attack and defense on his super attack effect.
Yeah. The Fizz one's gonna be decent. I mean, the STR one is the one I'm scared for. Like, if it's just damage, he's cooked for sure. I'm not looking forward to that, guys. Easy.
Yeah, well, something I've been thinking about is they could give the LR Broly and Trunks effect to physical Broly, and then give him another super. Like, he can super 4 times, and each time he supers, he picks up damage reduction per super.
Yeah, I mean,
That way, he can just be a really solid slot too.
it would have to be pretty. It would have to be pretty decent, I think. If they're, I don't know how. I really don't know. I have zero idea how they're gonna make what they're gonna do with these characters, super easy A's later on. I just don't know.
That's the fun thing, though, because like you can look at like a regular unit that's doing stuff, and you can kind of assume like, well, okay, for Super Vegeta, for example,
Mm-hmm.
we knew he guaranteed crit, so there was no question in anybody's mind like, hey, that guy's gonna hit hard. And then he dropped, and guess what he does? He fucking hits hard.
Yeah.
Shock. But like all these old units, they're like barely doing anything to begin with. They do have to just straight up rebuild them.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, they just need to rebuild them from the ground up. That's why I think that's why these super easies are so hard to, gauge or like predict, because you just never know. Obviously, they're gonna give them upgraded stats. If they make them like the other two though, like just dodge, maybe some support. Who knows? Like I'm gonna be pretty bored with that easy A. Hopefully, he's really good. I hope he's really good. I would like a new Broly.
Well, okay, I think to be fair, I think they have to do that with these first couple of early ones because they literally don't have super attack effects.
Right.
So like, I don't know. It's hard because there's like a balance that has to be achieved because they can't just make them the best fucking unit in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if they give them too many raw stats, then they really are going to do that. Like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gotenks is doing fine, and he doesn't even break a million defense. He's doing fine because they gave him all that DR and the dodge and everything. But if they gave these units like the raw stats to make up for them missing super attack effects instead of the auxiliary effects that they're getting,
Right.
then we have these like 7-year-old units having like a 900k start of turn, and they would just sit in slot 1 and they would start stealing jobs from like new summonable units. They don't want to do that.
Well, I think that there's a world where like all the summonable units are so unquestionably like just better that them easying a unit from 2015 isn't really gonna matter too much. Like, you're making them really good. Like, it isn't gonna matter too much. Like, that's my perfect world. I know it's unrealistic, but still, like, it just
I don't think it's unrealistic because like, okay, Golden Week last year. Remember how everybody was like shitting their pants over Goku, and then they took a second and they looked at Krillin and they were like, "Well, now hang on.
Yeah.
Krillin's also dumb.
Mm-hmm.
If they do it like that, like if a unit drops, right, like a Super Vegito. Well, let's say Super Vegito drops, and
Mhm.
he's just ridiculous. Best unit in the game. Who cares?
Right.
Whatever. And they give him a banner unit, and the banner unit is like Mr. Satan and Dende from when they were just watching the fight, and they got their lives saved by Tien and Gohan. If they're the banner unit, and just for absolutely no reason at all, they are like better than most of the DFEs that year, and then they drop like, I don't know, some random Buu Saga Super Easy A, like one of the old Ultimate Gohans, and he's also at that level. They're not better than any of the summonable units, but they're in the same talks.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they need to be. I don't think they need to be like best units in the game or anything. That's asking way too much.
Yeah, I don't think they need to be either. I just think I would like, and even like to the point of like, okay, well, if they release like, you know, a character, a Super Easy A that's similar to the Dokkan Fest that just released, right? There, I feel like it could just be a super simple fix of just like maybe release the character, maybe release a different character that time. You know, if they went in order, it would be, things would be in a completely different spot, right? Like the Super Easy A could just be like a random filled in thing, piece of content for the month, rather than just like something that has to fit the theme of an event. So that way,
Yeah.
when characters do release with like similar names, you don't have to worry about that character, you know, maybe being worse because they are releasing in a completely different spot than the Dokkan Fest would. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. So you and Beyond both, I think, had this opinion. Beyond, you also are the most hyped for physical Kid Buu Super Easy A, right?
Yeah, I like Kid Buu a lot.
Okay, so he's not competing with anybody.
Yeah.
Unless they drop our Kid Buu this year, which I would love. Kid Buu's my least favorite Buu, and I still really want that LR.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they drop him this year, that Super Easy A has every excuse to be completely absurdly busted because he is competing with nobody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's a really good way to look at that. If we get Super Easy A Kid Buu this year, either he's going to be really, really busted, or the alternative is that we are finally getting LR Kid Buu, and I don't really see a world where it's anything else.
Yeah. And I mean, either way, I mean, it's fine, right? Like, and I don't think a Super Easy A should be nearly as well done as like, you know, a premium LR, right? Like at all. I don't think they should be in the same talks. But it would be nice if these Super Easy A's were at least in the same talks as some of these like similar named, you know, TWAR characters, right? Like Dokkan Fest TWARs maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Cause like Dragon Fest, I think is pretty good, but my issue with him is that he's literally just the STR one. They're the same fucking unit, dude. They're the same unit.
Mm-hmm.
The AGL one does more damage on average. The STR one closes that gap, and they do about the same damage when you consider the active skill. They're both dodging. They're both the same fucking character from the same moment. Like, they are the same unit.
Yeah.
That's why he's like, regardless of how good or like mid people think he is, whatever your opinion of him is, objectively, he's just boring.
Yeah.
That's all I want to be avoided. I don't even care if they're like super busted or not. As long as they are usable and they're not boring, that's all I want.
Right. I mean, that's what I've been saying about Super Sentai Goku 2 is like he's just like a boring Easy A. Like he's a boring one for the first Easy A. Underwhelming. Like I just expected more, you know, except
He would have been boring if they didn't literally drop his fucking clone like 2 or 3 months prior, but that's just how it is,
yeah.
which sucks. I mean, that's just how it went.
Unfortunate. It's stupid. I hate it. Okay, well, I mean, since we're all in the same little, I think we're all in the same bubble when it comes to Super Easy A's, I'm going to move on to our Twitter quote unquote questions that we have. Y'all gotta do better than with the questions, man. Okay, I'm tired
Y'all
of
gotta
seeing.
lock in, bro.
I'm tired of seeing the freaking. Can you skibbity someone's Riz, or can Indians have skibbity Riz? Like, what the hell am I reading right now, dude?
I like how you
Jesus.
just targeted him for his twice.
Anyway, I guess since I targeted him, I might as well just ask this first question. So, what is the worst year in terms of release? 2023. Easily.
2020.
2023. Easily. Who said 2020? No, 2020. You heard
You
that,
said
right?
that.
I did not say 2020. I said
You
2023.
said that, bro.
No
You
one-
kind of choked on your tongue there for a second, but I knew what you meant. It is 2023.
It is 2023.
Yeah, 2023 is the worst year in terms of releases ever. I mean,
Was there one banger or one non-celebration banger TUR?
Yeah.
the
Which one?
androids. Now they are. I'm just kidding. Not really.
They're good. They were good. Like they weren't good until 2024.
W. I mean, who?
Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegito.
He was good.
His team was mad stank, but he himself was just a god for absolutely no fucking reason.
Yeah, now he's nothing. Yes, I won. Let's go.
Aren't you the Vegito sucker, bro?
What?
No. Well, I like Vegito, but I'm more of a Broly fan. I'm more of a Super Broly fan.
What I mean, the thing with Vegito is that if his stuff lasted longer, then the Gogeta fight would be whatever. Gogeta's not hurting him, but you know, like you can take him into Cell Max and you can see it. Cell Max will rip the rest of the team apart, but like, you know, if you can get Vegito in the way of a super, you'll see it. Vegito is like shockingly good. His team is just so bad that it doesn't matter.
That's why I never liked
I
the unit.
think this November is gonna be really good for crossover. Just like the easy A's that are coming up.
Yeah, I mean it definitely will. And now that they've touched on all the Brolys, you know, like we have Super Saiyan 4 and Limit Breaker, and they've done it for Vegito.
It was not
There's
busted.
three
Stop
different
it.
pieces.
It was not busted. It was not busted at all. That
What
team
is-
was not good.
That team was that team was okay at best only because Vegito was there.
Yeah, that team was eh. And the only reason Rose looked even remotely as good as he did was because the hardest fight started as Int. That was it. Rose sucks. The rest of that team fucking sucks. Tech Broly can hit hard, but his defense kind of sucks. Int Broly is inexcusably bad.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Fu is okay. So it's like, yeah, that team just sucks.
Yeah. Who cares? Now they just die. All of them just die.
Like, dude,
There was,
if
I mean,
a team has multiple Brolys that I can link together, and I still have to sit here and not only say the team is bad, but specify that each Broly is dog shit in his own way, that team sucks.
yeah, there was one character that I liked that came out last year that was a pretty good monthly, and that was Gohan and Piccolo. I think they were pretty good. They were a pretty good.
Oh yeah.
I think
Yeah, they're good.
I think they were pretty good. I think they got hard overrated by some agenda pushers, but I think they were pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
And then Goku too, but like,
That was a celebration unit.
oh yeah, it was Sendai. Yeah, you're right. Those are the only
The
ones that I kinda
celebrations
remember.
were nice. Like the celebration units were good, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
I think depending. I think they really nailed it in some areas, in other areas they didn't. Like Golden Week obviously was just fucking gas.
Golden Week was great.
Anniversary was Anniversary
was
was like
good.
a 6.5 out of 10. The units were pretty cool. They didn't age super well throughout the year. Content really wasn't their friend.
Yeah. Super Saiyan 4 Goku, man, one of the saddest case. 2023 was just a bad year, man. Let's look forward, okay? 2024 onwards is we're looking good. Things are looking good.
Yeah, we're looking at Tenabata Super Saiyan 4.
It's like I keep saying. Every single time Dokkan comes out with long form content, the game is always in a healthier spot because characters are built for long form content, and they will always do better in short form content because of it, unless they're
You say
Z Duo.
Super or Vegeta?
Yeah, Tenabata Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta that's coming out this year, dude. Trust.
I'm down for that, but then there's the question of like who is his part 2 LR?
Well, obviously it's Nova Shinron, man. I mean,
Obviously, it's LR Baby.
I mean, okay,
I
that
mean,
is
yeah,
totally valid,
yeah.
because
Since Baby
Goku's
was
on
the
the
villain to
big side of
Goku,
Metro, so yeah.
no, I think it's gonna be Nova Shinron. I think that'd be peak.
that's so random.
Well,
Baby
okay, dude,
deserves a Dokkan Fest LR. Let's not give him a stupid
look,
group.
Carnival LR is a close second.
give Nova and Ice a conjoined LR.
Dude,
Conjoined.
make it just like a banner, just like the banner unit. Make the kit the exact same.
Yeah, no, change
Well, it's
nothing.
like neither of them are hype enough to be, a DFE on their own. Neither of them are hype enough to be an LR on their own unless it's free to play. But if you bundle them together, then at least it's excusable because it's like, okay, Omega Shinron was the big bad. They were like the next thing.
They were like the small bad.
Yeah, so just giving them like, just a one-off LR is fine. Like, Nova Shinron and Ice Shinron
What's up? Hold
are
on.
the same thing as the Ginyu Force. They were the quote-unquote lackeys to the biggest bad.
Mm-hmm.
They were the second biggest bad. Like, they're the same thing. And we've gotten how many LRs for the Ginyu Force, man?
Yeah.
Come
3.
on.
Still no standalone LR Ginyu. Really disappointing, but I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. Outside of free to plays.
I mean, there's the DFE, but that's not an LR.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we do still need a standalone Ginyu Goku.
That's true. We still need a standalone Ginyu Goku. We have one. Wait, we have one.
The physical SR that you can buy for incredible gems is not.
No, man, that's
I-
peak, dude.
Oh.
He's peak, dude. What do you mean? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I was like, isn't the LR Ginyu Goku a standalone? But nah, he's got the squad.
So, I like this. Is Omatsu gay? I like. That's just. A
I
fun
like
question.
this one.
Okay, so there's another question I wanted to ask. If we were the producers of the game, how would we handle the 9th year anniversary? Simple answer. I have no fucking clue. I don't think 9th anniversary could be topped for me. It's like insane. They handled everything perfectly. Like what could they have done better? Maybe
They give the gamers a 2% dodge and base. I don't know.
maybe give me Gogeta. I'd probably give myself Gogeta. There's like literally nothing. Everything was handled so. Actually, there is one thing. Instead of the Gammas, it'd probably be Somax. I think I would make Somax the other LR instead of the Gammas. The Gammas are like they're good, but I would have preferred Somax be buffing Broly's team.
If they had taken the Gamma spot, given it to Selmac, and then the next DFE was literally just the Gammas instead of Frieza,
Mm-hmm.
that would have been better, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think that'd have been perfect.
I think considering what they were doing with the units they were dropping during the anniversary, I think that would have been a really opportune time to, I don't know, maybe address the upcoming domain issue and just get it out of the way already.
Yeah. Also, I'm sick of this, dude. I am sick of Dokkan's weird logic. I feel like the Gamma should also be on Super Bosses because, goddamn
Yeah,
it,
I was gonna say that. I'm like,
they fought
kinda...
the heroes.
I think literally every character that is from Super that opposes any main character in any way should be on Super Bosses. The same way I feel that way about movie bosses.
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
fucking Hal and Amand and Raisin. They were all fighting the Z Fighters, and like, okay, whatever. Tien and Yamcha are not Goku. They're still fucking Z Fighters, and they were fighting the big guy's henchmen. Like, why do they not count on movie bosses? That makes no sense.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't. It really doesn't make sense, especially for the Gammas though, too, because people like Taupe. Like, okay, we know that people in the Tournament of Power were established to be pretty good people, right? Like pretty good. They're not evil doers. They're not evil, but they just fought our hero. Like they fought the protagonists. Why is it that the Gammas do the exact same thing with the exact same criteria and they're not on Super Bosses? Like it doesn't make any sense. I don't get that.
I gotta search something up.
Super Vegeta, I have no idea, man. Do what makes you happy when it comes to. I don't know. If you feel like you need to quit YouTube, quit YouTube. I'm not gonna be the one to decide that for you. That's something you need to decide for yourself, my guy.
You know what? Oni, here's a hot take. I want your opinion on it. I want both of your opinions on it. I think every Fusion character, whether it's Fusion or Potara, I think they should be on Joined Forces, even if it's just the standalone Fusion.
Yeah, I could see that. Fuck it.
They literally had to fucking join forces to create this character, and they're not on Joined Forces. What kind of dumb shit is that?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Fusion's on Joint Forces, Pure Sands. Like, yeah, please.
Yeah, they should also be on Pure Sands. The fact that Gotenks is a hybrid Saiyan, but Vegeto's not a Pure Saiyan is the dumbest shit
Oh,
ever.
so dumb, dude. So stupid. Okay. One last. I mean, just to wrap that question up, literally the celebration was almost perfect, other than the fact that I feel like Cellmax could have been the Carnival LR instead of the Gammas, but everything else was just like everything. Everything was so good.
Yeah, okay, as we were getting away from that, just to have a little side tangent real fast about Somax. Now that we really have gotten everything from Superhero except him, dude, Tanabata really has to be Orange Piccolo standalone Part 1, Somax Carnival Part 2, right?
Hopefully. That'd be
Like,
beautiful.
it has to be. That wraps up everything. It's the perfect slot because, you know, the carnival for that LR usually matches the theme. It's perfect. It's all perfect. It's the perfect slot for it. And if they don't use that, I'm going to try not to be negative, but I feel like whatever they do put there is going to be dumb and not make sense.
Yeah. Well, we also got to think about. I guess they could just make it an overall like movie celebration or a superhero or a super celebration. Okay, maybe not another super celebration, but like
Okay, like, chill out a little bit.
maybe another celebration involving movies. I think just an overall celebration involving movies would be pretty cool. Like part 1, Cell Max and Orange Piccolo, and then part 2, like fuck it.
Oh God, it works
kinda-
out perfectly because the Tanabata LR has to have a banner unit, and that gives us Fat Gotenks a slot, dude.
Yeah.
So true, so
I
true.
locked the fuck in. Orange Piccolo, Fat Gotenks banner unit, Carnival Cell Max is Tanabata.
Yes, sir. I think it would work. Yeah, I would like to see.
Fat
I would just like
Gotenks
an orange,
LR.
standalone orange.
Orange
Piccolo.
Fat
Piccolo
Gotenks
banner
is
unit.
Bro.
Okay. I'm not just because you posted that image, Trippy. I'm not saying that question. Okay.
Dude,
Wait,
when are we
what?
getting an LR play?
LR Pycon?
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, we need to get a LF
Oh.
PyCon equivalent.
TGM has an
Wait.
interesting question.
Bring it up.
Okay, how should 10th anniversary handle leaders or face leader skills, not handle? Basically the same thing. If they choose the buff via stats instead of numbers, number of categories, how much further should they go? Also, should LRs be given an 8th link? So I mean, the thing about leader skills, like stat wise, is they didn't really. Whenever we got categories introduced, they didn't buff the amount of it was like maybe stuck between 150 170 around there. They didn't buff anything until literally 2020 2022. So, and categories were introduced like I think worldwide down celebration of, was it second year? The second year of the game, maybe. Yeah, second year of the game, around there when Gogeta was released. So, I mean, I don't think they're gonna buff stats or anything for 10th anniversary. I just don't think it's been long enough. But maybe, and if they do, it'll probably go up to like maybe 210. I don't see it going any higher than that with like, I don't know. Who knows? They could, but I think it's probably just gonna be about the same. I don't expect any new changes for leader skills. And should LRs be given an 8th link? I think everyone should. Fuck it, everyone gets an 8th link. Who cares?
So, first of all, I do think every unit that has 6 links should at least be put up to 7. I don't really care about an 8th. I just think every unit deserves 7.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost. Secondly, I think the change that needs to happen to leader skills, It's gonna be really busted. It's gonna be a very busted way to start out the year, but like there's no other way to do it, and I think it's very appropriate. Remember the AGL Blues and Texamasi's leader skill where they were
Yeah.
150 to super extreme?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think we need like because of course it's fucking 10th anniversary. It's the biggest anniversary ever. Whatever, dude. It's gonna be Super Gogeta and Super Vegito. People can fucking hang it up. I don't care. That's just what it's gonna be. But split them up. Have Super Vegito be in part 1. Have it be Super Vegito and just Buhan. Standalone LR Buhan. And give their leader skills, keep them as 200s. Give them 3 categories that they're buffing, give them 200s, whatever. Don't go above 200. But give them that same thing for the 150s from Worldwide Download Celebration, and then make it 170s. And then from there on, 150s are gone.
Yeah. We really need the I'm sick and tired of LR, like regular LR stuff in 150 liter. Like they are unusable leader skills.
They
at
try
that
to
point.
excuse it with 4 key too, and it's like, dude, no.
Yeah.
Just get rid of it. Literally just drop 150s and have that be the catalyst for dropping them.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine Super Vegito leading Majin Buu Saga and like Potara and something else. And then he's also just a 170 to super class.
Yeah. Yeah. He'd be really good. That would be really
They
good.
could also do. They could also do types, just like 150 or 170 to AGL or whatever type they are.
That is true.
Yeah, they could do
That-
typings too.
That wouldn't really be like hard. And I think it would be interesting because like, fuck it. Let's just use the old Super Vegito, for example. He's AGL. So if the LR was AGL and he gave an additional 170 to just any AGL unit, if there are units that work with him that don't necessarily go on any of his leader skills, like if he doesn't buff, like if his leader skill doesn't have like Majin Buu Saga, but you
Mhm.
want to run a Go Tank with him, there are AGL Go Tanks that gives you the option to now do that. Like, I also think that works. I think either way they do it, that works. But I do think 10th anniversary needs to drop 150s because it's the fucking 10th anniversary. What are we doing?
Yeah. How would you guys feel if they started like giving out? They could very well just do it through the passive too. But how would you guys feel if they started implementing like stuff like damage reduction in leader skills too? Like I don't know, let's say 200%, 3 categories, and then like 15% damage reduction to all allies or something like that.
That is
Busted?
a very split.
What'd you say?
He said busted. And I think that's a slippery slope because damage reduction is stronger than guard is. Once you get past a certain percent, which is not as high as people think, damage reduction's better than guard at like 40%. But if a unit, because there are links like loyalty or like tough as nails that give you damage reduction, they give you 5% from your links.
Right.
So if there's a unit that drops, that just doesn't have DR, but they're really, really strong because they don't have DR. Like okay, Majunior, dude just gets like 3.5 million defense at his max.
Mhm.
And because he doesn't have any DR or anything, he's just a big raw stat boy. If they drop another one of those and it's like a villain, like a Nappa or something, and he has tough as nails, and there's like a Sand Saga leader that's giving him 15% damage reduction. Now we have a situation where a character that was built around not having DR has 20%. Now he's just like the best unit in the game. So if they do shit like that, it's either going to be them essentially saying we really don't give a shit about balance and everything's about to just explode and everyone's going to be insanely busted, or it's going to make releases way more difficult to judge and it's going to make them harder for the devs to build because they have more shit that they have to build around now. And dude, if they're giving us units like Frieza and Rose without having to build around that shit, I don't want to see what we're going to get if they have to put even more thought into dropping these things, because I feel like they could get worse because they overcompensate.
I feel like they overcompensate for like a lot anyway. Sometimes stuff that we don't even
do.
find to be nearly as important as what they do.
Yeah, that's my whole thing is like I wouldn't really Like, yeah, it'd be cool because like giving units damage reduction on top of like already having it or not having it at all and just giving it to them from the leader skill, that's hype. Of course, it's hype. That makes every unit better.
Yeah.
But with how they love to overcompensate for stuff, like thinking Gogeta's super effective makes up for Vegeto's crit counters.
Yeah.
Fuck kind of shit is that? That's so dumb. That doesn't make up for it at all.
Right.
It falls so flat, but they think it's just as good. I could not imagine what units would look like if they thought they were that good because they're overcompensating for the leader skill. I think it would actually make releases worse.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Beyond, do you have any last thoughts?
Not really. I'm just thinking of just the characters that they could do for 10. I think it's just gonna be really fucking hype.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think no matter
They're
what, it's
literally
gonna be a good time.
just going to go for pure hype.
Yeah, it's gonna be the best time ever, I think. Okay, well, that's gonna do it for today's episode. Just so you guys know, the best flavor of Pop-Tart is the Oreo flavors. Okay, just to clear that up.
That sounds good.
Um,
You guys, are you supposed to toast Pop-Tarts or?
You don't
Disagree,
have
but I
to.
respect.
you don't have to. I mean, you can. Some people freeze them. They do the exact opposite. So
Okay, hang on. We have to delineate because there are dessert flavored Pop Tarts and there are fruit flavored Pop Tarts, and it's not correct to rank them against each other because they're different things.
okay, sure.
I think the Oreo one and the cookie dough one are like tied for the best dessert one, like no question.
Okay.
And I think the cherry one's the best fruit one.
Okay. No.
Bro, fucking hot cherry Pop Tart out of the toaster is so gas.
It's good, but no. It. No.
But better than strawberry. Strawberry's played out at this point.
I agree.
It's better than blueberry. I don't know. I get, like, are you going to count wild berry as a fruit? Because it really is just some fucking flavor they made up.
I'm gonna. I feel like I would like a raspberry Pop-Tart more than a cherry Pop-Tart. Or a blueberry
I can
Pop-Tart
agree with
more
that. I love raspberry anything. That would be fucking gas. But as it sits now, I think the cherry one is the best fruit one because all the other ones are just boring.
But they have raspberry Pop-Tarts, though, so why isn't that the best one?
Do they?
Yeah, they have raspberry Pop-Tarts.
Let me look this up.
I think blueberry Pop-Tart over cherry Pop-Tart for sure. I love blueberry though, so that's just me.
Well, yeah, they do have raspberry Pop Tarts. I've just never seen these. They might not be in my area because I live in a small area. I'm gonna have to order these. These look gas.
They're pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty good. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you all. Thank you all for stopping by and listening to us banter and yell and scream at each other again for another week. Hopefully some cool drama happens that isn't somebody being exposed for being a weird pedo guy. So we can talk about that next week. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I love you guys. Stay safe and